minute I got the guys in those four walls, because they had to put their fingerprints on it at that point.
You know, us as artists, you know, like we're very biased to our music.
Like every song is our own baby, so it's hard for us to kill our babies. I wrote it for my dad when he died, so it's more like a tribute to him, right?
For me, I guess the emotion is yeah, like it comes out as just rage and just bashing out on the drums and on the cymbals.
Music is really an outlet. It's a way to channel all of that. In a lot of ways, we are like mirrors. Long after I'm dead, that song's still gonna be alive.
This is Faisal from L'Ma3adine, the Metalheads, and today we are sitting down with not one, but two members of one of Montreal's most relentless rising heavy acts, Fatal Switch.
Yeah.
With the release of Black Sky Anthem, Fatal Switch has delivered their most ambitious and unified statement yet. A record tackling a lot of concepts, from corruption all the way to resilience and grief, and the fight to stay standing when everything around you is falling apart. Joining me today is the vocalist Steve and the drummer Rolf. And we're going beyond press releases and really diving into the stories, struggles, philosophies, and realities behind Fatal Switch's rebirth. Gentlemen, welcome to L'Ma3adine.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for having us.
Yeah,
thank you.
For sure.
So my first question is, when did Fatal Switch stop being Steve's project and start feeling like everyone's band?
Great. I guess I'll take this one, Steve. Yeah, great question. Well, I guess it goes back to when I met Steve. I mean, as you know, Steve was at that time, you know, he was fishing around for like band members, and he clearly, while I'm looking for a drummer, while other members, so I'm the drummer. Then yeah, he found me and found all the rest of the guys, and that was an interesting transition, because yeah, that's I think, you know, yeah, went from like that project, you know, like Steve, your project, turning into like a full-on band.
Yeah.
You know, so that transition was very interesting. I mean, we could like go and get into that, but yeah.
So just to give you a bit of context, when I went to record our first album, Doctors and Demons, at that time, the guitarist who started the project with me decided that he wanted to step out of the project to focus on his other band that was taking off a little bit at the time. So I recorded the first album with session musicians, basically. My brother was on bass as well, but mostly session musicians. And then after the first album was done, that's what I used as my calling card, my business card, essentially, to go and find my bandmates. So yeah, Ralph was one of the first ones. He's been there pretty much since day one after that. And yeah, I think, you know, hopefully the guys kind of see that as the project has progressed, like we're very collaborative. There's no one person that comes in and says, you got to do it this way or we're doing it that way. You know, we present ideas to each other. We give each other feedback. I could have an idea for a drum fill. Ralph can have an idea for a vocal pattern. And yeah, we just try and keep the communication very open and very collaborative as much as possible.
Cool. And this one's for you, Steve. Like,
yeah,
when was the moment that you had to let go? And literally, this is like a band project, not a Steve project anymore. You remember the exact moment?
I think there was many moments. There were several moments. You know, when we started writing songs together, I think was really the time where I wanted everyone just to throw in their artistic backgrounds and bring what they had to the table. So I really didn't want to get involved in that as well. You know, like I wanted to make sure that, you know, if someone wanted to make a 15-minute song, who cares? Just go for it. Do what you want to do. and then we refine the process later with the producer. We kind of refine the process later on down the road. But my whole goal was the minute I got the guys in those four walls was just take it and make something, because they had to put their fingerprints on it at that point. You know, they were coming into a project that they had to perform live, that they didn't record in the studio, so they had to take in, they had to create a live version that was their own. They had to kind of get their fingerprints on the band. So it was really in the early stages where I made sure I try to take more of a backseat and just let the guys drive the project.
That's gonna lead me to the next thing that I want to ask you guys, because feeling that comfortable in a position, especially with your bandmates, I believe that you wrote more than 50 songs before landing on the Black Sky anthem. And
Yeah.
I want to
That's
know,
right.
like, yeah, what separated the survivors, the song that made it to the album, to the song that didn't make it?
Well, so I mean, that's a very good question. We set to our minds, you know, like as artists, you know, like and as a band, like, you know, to write, to like just keep writing and being creative and get these creative juices out and like really shoot for 50 plus songs, you know, and then, you know, we don't like to I guess, you know, Steve, you can, you know, hop on this, you know, like we don't like to pigeon ourselves into like a box per se as an artist. Yes, like we're rock. Yes, we throw in some metal into there, but we're four individuals. We all have our each like different influences, music influences, you know, and we just like to feed on each other and then just start to narrow everything down. It's like it's like a process. I find it's a really a process and like yeah. I mean, if you want to add anything, Steve, onto that, like
I think what it really comes down to as well is the producer, right? I think it's your job to create as much material as possible to then present to your producer, so he could look at it as a body of work and say, "Great, you guys have 50 songs. These 10 go perfectly together for the project, for the vision that we want." So, you know, it's hard for us to kill our babies, right? Like every song is our
yeah.
own baby. So it's even hard sometimes to hear that decision of, no, that one's not going on this album, it's going on the next one. But you still have to trust the professionals, you have to trust the process, and you have to be like, okay, well, we're putting this album together, and if you see these 10 songs together, that's what we're going to go with. There have been the additional, like I think we started out with 8, but then we fell into a couple of collaborations with a couple of big artists, so of course that just kind of naturally became part of the project. But yeah, to answer your question there, Faisal, for me, what made us choose the songs that we chose out of the 50, a huge part comes down to the producer and his vision as to helping us build up the project.
And actually, if I could just add like a little thing on top of what Steve was saying, and what's interesting about that is like, well, you know, us as artists, you know, like we're very biased to our music, you know. So sometimes, you know, like when we write our music, and like we get like a little bit, you know, like self bias, and like we love our certain things. So that's why when we need something external, like our producer, like when he sees it and like it kind of like it helps us like kind of like, you know, shave down all the way down to these like the 10 songs that out of the, you know, and that brings light to everything. Yeah.
So I guess the producer acted like like a funnel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sure, yeah, yeah, it
yeah.
really helps, it helps you know, to like get the best out of our creation, so
Yeah,
if you will.
if
Yeah.
you would have left it to us, we probably would have fought for the next 10 years over what songs are going on the album. So it's better someone else comes in anyways. It takes
Right.
the pressure off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
So that was exactly the next thing that I'm gonna ask you.
Okay.
Like, what was the song that you guys like fought for it that made it to the album?
Fought for it that made it.
Good question.
That's a
Great
good
question.
question. I mean,
What do you think?
I know for a fact that there was between you and I, that was one song that we were all kind of questioning if we should put it on. It's more of a ballad. I wrote it for my dad when he died, so it's more like a tribute to him, right? But it was the one song that me, my producer, and at the time my manager had all kind of pinned as one of the maybes out of the 50, but we weren't kind of sure. So I kind of went back to Kevin. I'm like, look, man, I know it's a maybe, but each one of us kind of pegged it as I think there's something there with it. So I kind of pushed. I'm like, I think we should really add that one on into the mix. So yeah, I kind of took it from that. I don't know, pile to like, okay, I think we should really kind of give that one a shot.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Steve.
Yeah, absolutely.
So again, Black Sky Anthem is a record that deals with a lot of subjects, from corruption, betrayal, hopelessness, greed, and even grief, like you mentioned. Did living inside those themes like became emotionally exhausting?
No, if anything, I find them liberating because these are things that you deal with and you live with every day. And music is really an outlet. It's a way to channel all of that. And it's also a way for, us as musicians to reflect the environments that we're living in. And I think every musician, it's their responsibility and job to look at the world, to look at how they feel, and then find a way to reflect that back to the world, right? In a lot of ways, we are like mirrors. So no, um, for sure, when it comes to grief and stuff, writing those things, the emotions come up, but that's also a good thing sometimes when the emotions come up. When I write about greed or things like that and I get angry, well, the more emotion that does come up, the more you can channel it into the song, the more that the listener can feel. But no, it didn't kind of weigh me down. If anything, it was that conduit, which is the end product, which is the songs.
Anything to add, Ralph?
Uh, yeah. Well, as Steve was talking, I was just thinking, from a drummer's perspective, really, like, um, because like he's clearly he's a lyricist, frontman, vocalist, so like he's expressing it and it's getting out there in words, from drumming, and with drums. And I remember saying that. I remember Steve when I like to tell people, like when I write drums and drum fills and like this that it's similar to writing lyrics in the sense that like I to me the guys will laugh like the drummer is like the guy who's in like always raging and just like want to blast on like they'll laugh, so like it comes out. And for me, I guess the emotion is yeah, like it comes out as just rage and just bashing out on the drums and on the cymbals, and it just translates like he's already like smiling because he knows. So yeah, that's it's a different perspective into music. It's interesting. Yeah.
So I guess that's why the drummers are always the chillest guys. All the negative energy, like it's
Sure.
like.
Yeah, we just hammer it out. We hammer it out on the kit, like so. Yeah.
One thing that you mentioned, Steve, that really stuck with me right now is that you told me that it felt more liberating. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah. So it felt a little bit more liberating. And
Mhm.
I had the feeling while listening to Fatal Switch is that the band is like a reaction to a world that feels rigged.
Hmm.
Do you share the same outlook?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's too. I don't think it's too hard to see that a lot of things are rigged, and that could go to anything that you think about, from the music industry to streaming to politics to banking systems to wealth distribution to wars that are constantly going on for who's gained, who knows, right? Yeah, I think there needs to be more talk, more people talking about what they see going around them, because if we just kind of close our eyes and just let media kind of do its thing, it's very, very easy to become complacent. And now is the absolute worst time for complacency with social media, with things being at your fingertips, and just the way that, even media can manipulate you and just have one catastrophe over another so you can't even breathe or think about the next thing that's happening. I think it's important for someone to zero in and say, no, that thing. Let's talk about that thing and then make it a song. And then that song, you know what? Long after I'm dead, that song's still going to be alive, right? So you're creating something that's never going to go away. So yeah,
stays relevant, you know, like over the years. Yeah, it's like especially like what we see now. I mean, like honestly, like on what you're saying, I mean, there's a lot of we see a lot of like news, you know, and then we're always bombarded, you know, like on like YouTube and you know all the news stations, you know, CNN, Fox, whatever, you know, and like especially what's happening in the Middle East. I mean, like I'm Lebanese, and like I mean, it's you know, politically and everything. So a lot of the you know lyrical you know content in our songs and music, you know, Steve, you know, you've written, you know, write about wars, you write about like you know corruption, you know, stuff like that, you know, greed, like all that stuff is just it's crazy how stuff is relevant, you know, that we speak till today, you know, and it's kind of yeah, it's crazy, you know, it's
Yeah.
kind of
And
wild.
yeah, and I couldn't
Yeah.
agree more. Like after all of us are gone, like art is gonna be as relevant as today, as if today.
100%. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, 100%. And it translates like yeah, you know,
yeah.
to other people.
And don't you think that people are that what do you think about like people right now? Are they becoming more aware of systematic problems, or simply just accepting them and consuming everything in their way, especially with social media?
sadly, the answer is both.
Yeah,
It's both at the same time, and that's the most dangerous place to be in.
yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Literally, like everybody's becoming a little bit more numb to everyday problems that even like a couple of years ago they'd be like, "Oh, what the hell is going on?" But now, no, it's just
Yep.
another day. There's nothing.
You know, sad to say, but if 9/11 happened tomorrow, it wouldn't have had the same reaction that it got back in 2001.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
that's just the state that we're in right now, and it's sad. But yeah, it's we are more aware because we have more outlets and ways to get that media to us, but we're also more numb just because of everything that's going on.
yeah. Too much
Unfortunately, I
exposed.
think
Yeah,
yeah, no, I was just gonna I just add there, like unfortunately, I think that's like just a byproduct of social media, you know, in general. I mean, like there's you know, there's the pros and cons. I mean, you got your TikToks, your Instagrams, and you know, everything's there. Again, like you just like I was talking about earlier, like that constant you know bombardment of like just insanity. I guess people get like yeah like a little more numb to that, and it's like there's some good things and bad things to social media. So, but that's a whole other
yeah.
yeah
That
discussion.
yeah, that literally that reminded me of a quote that the Joker said on The Dark Knight Rises. Yeah, you know, like
Mm,
if a soldier dies, nobody bats their eyes, but if someone dies on an everyday life, like everybody loses their mind.
Yeah.
Even that is not relevant right now, like with the amount of all
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
yeah
yeah, yeah.
all the violence and the trauma that we see, especially on everyday social media.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're right. You're right. It like
sucks.
even that is we're becoming desensitized to civilian casualties.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's circle back a little bit to the studio,
Mhm.
and I want to know what was the harshest criticism that Kevin gave either of you during recording.
Should I take this one?
That's like Rob. He was like,
He's looking at me like, no, it's okay. No, it's
Start.
great.
You can
I
start.
can like, I'll answer that. No, well, so basically, like, I'll try to make this as brief as I can. So like in when we got in the studio and recording the album, okay, so as a drummer, like I have a certain way of, you know, I had a certain way of like, you know, writing drums where I just like I go in with the guys, everyone's jamming, you know, they play with a bunch of riffs, you know, maybe Steve says some lyric, you know, I got a bass line, I do the beat, I do the fill, like boom, 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 done, you know, that I do it myself, and then but then once I got to the studio for the album and recording the entire album, the first 2, 3 songs he recorded, they were okay. But then like Kevin, he stops everything, stops the recording. He tells me, Ralph, just come out for a second. I'm like, all right, okay, well, what's up? And he tells me, he's like, okay, look, it's great the first 2 songs you did already, but like you're not like there's certain things like you need to work on your kit. Now and then like basically like how to like you know map out the drums and write out the drums and basically you know so I had to reframe like the way I look at drums and how to write drums, you know, in my head, and sort of, you know, he told me, okay, you got to have like a specific way. Okay, the way you're hitting the snare, the way you're hitting your cymbal. So like, I guess my point is like someone like me who's I've been playing drums since I was 12 years old. Okay, it's been like quite a minute. So, um, I had to sort of, you know, as you say, go back to the drawing board from there on, and I'm like, okay, holy crap, like that was a big criticism. He's like, I know you've have experience playing drums and you're a great drummer, but there's some things you need to work on and this that, you know. So, uh, yeah, like, I had to, like, sort of, like, relearn, my kit, went practiced my ass off to get, like, I took all the pointers he gave me, you know, even went to, saw a drum coach to help me out with some certain things on drums, you know, after playing 20 years of drums, 20 plus years, you know, kinda, like, swallowing that pill. And because you got to, if you're going to be a professional musician, and actually, well, I'm getting into that, I guess, you want to be a professional musician, sometimes you got to swallow that pill. And again, it's tough maybe for some other people, but you got to swallow that pill, beat it hard, go ahead and do it. And then you come out on the other side, better musician, better drummer. And, and like the criticism is a sting, but like you get better, then that's how growth works. So, I hope that so like yeah, so that
Yeah.
answers the so yeah, and honestly, it was great. The drums came out like amazing. You know, create like 9, 10 songs in 2 days or whichever it was. I think one day. I think it was one day, right? Like the whole song, the whole album. And Kevin was like, "Yeah, okay." He was like, "I remember that day actually." On the last song was Kevin was like, "Okay, I think okay, wow, yeah, that's the difference." So you get awesome. I'm like, okay, great, I did my job.
How about you, Steve?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a producer's job to push you, right? And to get you outside of your comfort zone. I think I'm my own biggest critic. Like, I will analyze and overanalyze everything I do and be like, oh, could have done that better. But one thing, it's funny because it goes from the first album that translated even to the second album, was the fact that Kevin was telling me when I structure my raps that sometimes keeping them a little bit more of the same structure between the two verses can help the ears kind of attach to them more because it's a little bit more samey. I don't know how I kind of missed that. Like on the first album, even for most of the second album, I was just kind of doing my own thing, and then he kind of pointed that out to me again, and it just hit, and I was like, you know what, you're right. So when we had our collaboration with Scott Storch, and we went back in the studio to do that song, kind of post album, I made sure that I took some of that feedback and I put it in the song, and when it came out, I was like, you know what? Damn, it does sound better. You know, like I was kind of being a little arrogant, maybe, or like trying to do things a little bit my own way. But sometimes when people see it from the outside perspective, you just gotta give it a shot, or maybe it's saying it the second time or the third time, or maybe you're saying it on a day where the moon is in Virgo and it's raining in the north, and so it just clicks. I don't know what to say, but it was just something about it when he said it. I was just like, oh yeah, like I just had that moment, like, oh yeah.
So I guess looking back, it's fair to assume that Kevin was right.
Always, usually 99% of the time, he is actually, yeah.
Well, sure. I mean, he's our producer.
Yeah.
No, it's good for sure. He's our producer, but like it's always it's you know, it's how do you say, it's collaborative, you know,
Yeah.
process. You know, it's just I like to keen to it, like I use the analogy as like an actor and a director in a movie. You know, I feel it's very, very similar.
Yeah.
It's just it is. It's just the way it is. Yeah.
And with that high level of production, and also having having you guys like literally as a big band right now, with with the, how can I say that, and with Kevin's input, my next question is gonna be like, are we witnessing like kind of a new metal revival, or do you think this is just like the new generation discovering it for the first time?
Oof, that's a good question. I think there's There's a little bit of both, because you see bands like Linkin Park coming back. You see
Mm-hmm.
bands like Rage Against the Machine that came back, what, 2 years ago or something, and they tried to do their tour and stuff. Biscuit is still relevant and on the scene,
I was gonna say Biscuit as well, yeah.
right? But now we're seeing a younger generation as well. You got like Dropout Kings, you've got Falling in Reverse, Fire from the Gods. I mean, there's just so many more new metal bands that I feel as though the new metal is going to take over the revival in the next 5 years.
I'm gonna remember that. I'm gonna get back to you after 5
Yeah.
years.
No. Yeah. Yeah.
So, what do you think makes a great new metal rhythm section?
Wow, yeah, that's a very good question. Again, give me like 10 seconds on this. I would think,
Yeah.
so I would say it's got to be the synergy between the drummer and the bassist. Okay, uh, the drummer and the bassist has gotta be locked up. I mean, like me and David, our bassist. Like we he does like his thing, and then the beat, I gotta drop down the beat and like get it in the pocket, make it sound big. I'm a kind of drummer that doesn't like, I'm not like, I don't play like a million miles per hour. Like I'm all about like power, and that's kind of my style, you know.
Yeah.
Um uh I'm gonna say the names. Don't laugh, Steve, okay? Lars Ulrich, all right, is one of my biggest idols in the world. Lars Ulrich. Drummer
Unpopular
Metallica.
opinion. I think early Lars is great,
Okay.
and I say early Lars.
It's all good. It's no worries. I get it. But no, but like I'm just mentioning them because like I like I play with power. So a lot of power, a lot of like, less like, like I don't do too many like crazy blast beats, or like, it kind of like, I play for the song. Like I'm a drummer who plays for the song, like what it needs, you know. I don't go overkill with the fills. I don't go less. I just play to the for what the song needs. And like I feel it's the same thing for the bass. So I think that, just to answer your question, also like with the bassist too, and then the synergy between the bassist and the drummer doing that and like playing for the song and to the song, I think is a big deal in trying to put that new metal sound out there for the rhythm section. Yeah. I hope that answers
Yeah,
the kind of like
perfectly. Yeah, a little bit about me
less is
also.
more. Less is more. How
Less
about
is
that?
more. So a little bit about me. I kind of don't know anything about new metal. I'm a little bit more extreme, and I'm
Oh,
still
cool.
Okay, cool.
what got me into metal at first is new metal, but I jumped like it was a little bit of a couple of Linkin Park songs, then straight to Slipknot, death metal, black metal.
Cool. Well,
So I kind of
Slipknot is close.
is close, but it's like Joey was faster than the basic rhythms of new, I guess.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for sharing that, because I need to go back to the woods a little bit.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
no problem.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if let's say if someone discovers Fatal Switch 10 years from now through Black Sky Anthem, what do you hope they understand about the band?
Wow, Steve. I get that to you honestly.
So what I hope I would hope that they understand something more about themselves than they do about the band first, right?
Yeah.
I want the music to speak to them. But if they were to look at the band and understand something, I just would want them to understand that, we're just trying to be a band that has integrity, that is trying to do the right thing, say the right messages, but still have a bit of fun at the same time as well, right? So hopefully, if they get to know us, or through getting to know us and our songs, they could get to know themselves as well.
This is like a general thing in the band, and our name Fatal Switch is like there's like a duality kind of symbolism in there, like where like, so like, you know it's kind of like the, play on words of like, the like the yin and yang, where or like a darkness, light. You know, like so like we feel like like I mean everybody. I mean we're all human, and every person has that dark and light, or yin and yang. So like hopefully we're like this band kind of like kind of will maybe if you will help people probably go through whatever they're going through, whether it is darkness or light, really. So like also part of like what we're about. So
Yeah. So Ralph, if you can tell me something about Steve that people don't see.
that people
Don't
don't.
see.
Okay. Well, interesting question. People don't see. Let's see. Let me choose my words carefully here. No, no, I guess I'll say. I bet. Well, when we go play, when we go jam, I guess like it's just like he kind like he's very like organized when it comes to when we come together as a group, which is great. And like like he's and like really sets out like certain things, like look, we got to do this, and he sets points out, which is great, great of him. And like it's kind of like if you want to wheel like behind the scenes over everything, and like and he does a great job at that. I'm not like I'm not saying no, but he does a fantastic job on that. But like I guess that's like, yeah, that's a little bit behind the scenes of like Steve that people don't see. Like he's like says, okay, listen, guys, we gotta do this. There's this thing on this day. We died on this day. We gotta do this. Gotta do that. So that's great. And really, I think that's what people, don't see. Yeah, I think it's great.
How about you, Steve? Something about Ralph that
Yeah.
people don't see and that deserves more recognition.
Sure. Yeah, that's a better way to frame it, because Ralph was about to say that I was a troll, which I totally am a troll with the guys. I troll them every chance I get.
I have to be out. We're gonna be
But it's
nice
okay.
as possible.
No, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Cat's out of the bag. Yes, I'm a troll. It's okay. The guys love me for it. Don't worry about it. But one thing that people don't see about Ralph is extremely good at rallying the guys together. So like, let's say we're in a funk, let's say we're all like, I don't know, down or we're upset about something. Ralph's the guy that can help us shake it off and be like, hey guys, like, let's get back in it. Like, don't worry about this, don't worry about that. He's really the vibe guy, right? So he's really good at bringing us back together when we kind of hit walls and stuff sometimes.
So it's like kind of the glue that holds it all together.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Dan. I try. Hey, I just like
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Like,
I'm goofy. I'm goofy at heart. I've always been like been
Yeah.
like a jokey, vibey guy. The guys know I'm like the vibe guy in the band. So
Yeah.
But I guess Steve
Fine.
kind of outgoof you a little bit, because like he just said he was a troll.
Well, yeah,
Yes.
he's a troll on the other side of the spectrum.
Yeah, so I do things that make Ralph have reactions. So it's perfect, because I will say and do and put him in situations, but he takes it really well. Or he just gets really serious, but even though he's serious, he's really not serious. So it's a whole thing we got going on.
It's good. No, it's good. It's good. I like that.
Yeah, like I like.
Yeah.
And we know our bases to death. So
Yes.
Yeah, of course. Like there is something that's a little bit wrong. Like that's a general rule. We gotta annoy the bassist, because the bassist annoys everyone on stage, right?
Like, sorry, David. I mean, I don't know.
we annoy the bassist because the bassist is always late. So
Yeah,
that's why.
So Steve, Ralph, thank you both so much for taking the time to hang out with me today.
Absolutely.
And for you guys, make sure to check out Black Sky Anthem, support Fatal Switch, you know how. Stream the music, grab the merch, catch them live whenever they hit your city. And if you enjoyed this interview, don't forget to like, subscribe, and please tell me what's your favorite Black Sky Anthem right there in the comments. And until next time, stay heavy.